why did we start our venture? First of all, a background about myself. I'm engineer, an MBA from IISc Bangalore, and I started first working with Analytics Center of Excellence G from 2001 to 2004. This is a place where I learned how to use analytics for the optimization of collections effort in credit card business. It also gave me idea about what is model, what is strategy, all those things. Then I joined neural technology, and here the work was all about model development in various situations, including telecom. Then I joined Genta, and Genta was into the area of collections analytics. How can you use analytics to get more recovery or get money from the those accounts which has already been attracted long back? So essentially, these are lying into recovery from quite some time. Then I joined City. Here I heading the modeling unit for North America, and I was involved into risk model development. This is the place where I learned a lot about the model development and how to utilize it for the optimization. Then I joined SBI Card. At that time, it was called G and SBI had the venture, and I headed the marketing analytics unit of this particular place. This is the place where I learned about campaign management and how you can use campaign for the revenue generation. So, in this journey of 23 years, I had at least 40 plus interaction in different forums and with different external partners, where I realized that there are many things that these guys are trying to achieve and we are already there. I realized that there are many things that is like an ambition for them, like for example, data democratization. It's an ambition for them. They want to understand, they want everybody to have access to the data and data driven decision making, but that's an ambition they have not been able to figure out, and they are blaming each other. For example, business doesn't know what they are looking at, and business is saying IT doesn't understand what we are looking for. All those kind I heard in different forums, and that's where I realized that there are many things which we have figured out and others are just trying to get into that area. So that's where I decided that the best practices that I have developed and is being utilized in the small team across such a long period, that best practice has to reach to people. And that's where I decided that I'll start sharing this knowledge, and that's where I thought I will get into my own stuff. So first thing, let me talk about modeling practices. Most often than not, you'll find people developing models and taking probably 20 days to develop data, and then taking another 30 days in the model development. So essentially, it's a pretty long cycle to develop model. Whereas if you look at it, is such a good tool, such a good thing that if you use this, it can help you to discover many patterns, many things very quickly. But to reach to a level where you can develop decision tree probably in half a day, a logistic regression model probably in 1.5 days, first thing you need to have is that you have to keep data properly. My suggestion would be that you should start customer level monthly data in such a way that these are readily usable and reliable data. On top of that, you need to develop method to aggregate such data for 3 months, 6 months, 9-month kind of performance, so that you can get customers performance in aggregated performance in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, and all those things. Also, we know that in a particular business how to treat data. For example, if in credit card, if somebody is not spending, that missing value is as good as 0, because if he has not spent, it is as good as he has spent 0. So over the year, if you just collect correct information, you know how to treat data in most of the situation, and that treatment you can deploy. And then you can also put several out of box derived variable. So if you develop a mechanism where there is a monthly data and there is a clear mechanism of aggregating data, And there is a clear mechanism of data treatment which is automated and derived variable creation which is automated. If these four things are there, you can actually fire an automated schedule which can create data for you for the model development. And then whole process of getting the data for modeling probably is half a day, or if it is taking long time to run, then probably a 1 day job just to get data. Please note, after this, the manual effort is probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The time that you are taking is all about the code that is executing and providing you the data, which you can just start developing model on that. So that's first part. The modeling has actually second part also. That is all about variable selection, analyzing the trend in the model, in the data, doing coefficient stability check, variable significance check, and all those things. That is again time consuming job. And that's where you need to have a tool which can help you to do missing value treatment, which can help you to do flooring capping without cumbersome. It should be easy for you. It should help you to derive new variables. It should help you to judge the target encoding, and that too very easily. If you have a tool which can help you with these things, you can develop model very quickly. So essentially, you need a tool which can do all these things, which can help you with the variable selection, which can help you in the visualization of model, what it is giving, what kind of variable it is coming. So, and if it is helping you in the model evaluation, what is the strength of the model? What is the variable significance? What is the multi-quantity? What is the linearity? What is the heteroscedasticity? If a tool is doing all these things and it is doing out of time validation simultaneously when you are developing model, then obviously like you can develop model pretty quickly. And when it comes to develop model in industrial situation, it requires certain Basel norms like Gini and all those things to be developed. So if a tool can give you all these things, your modeling can be very fast. For that, I will recommend you to look at Extreme ML. About some detail about Extreme ML, you can find it here on this page. I'll provide all these links to you. Here, Extreme ML is given what is this tool doing, and you have a quick demo about this tool. So that can help you a lot about understanding the Extreme ML, and then again you can get in touch with us to understand further. That can actually help you a lot in the part 2. And in part 1, which is all about having the infrastructure where data and automated data creation for the modeling is possible, that we can do, take it forward as a consultancy. So that's the one area where I feel that the best practice that we have learned can enable many people to do model development very quickly. And that's first thing. Now let me just go to the second part. The second part that we learned and we feel very proud is that how do you develop a data driven culture? For that, you need to understand that you have to put a BI kind of system on a well thought data storage. If there is a well thought data storage which has following properties, like for example, when you are dealing with data cubes where people can do some kind of, I should say, filtration, some kind of combination and can get the data, you have to put data cube in such a way that people can get results in 10 seconds. You have to, sometimes you need account level data. These are not cubical data, these are account level data, but then you have to put data in such a way that you can query it in 1 minute. Then you have to keep monthly summary, and you have to have mechanism by which you can query monthly summary level result where account level, and you have many time periods in probably 5 minutes. And then next is transactions. At times you require transaction level data to be queried for some kind of thing. You have to have a tool which lets you query this transaction level data using just GUI. So here the manual effort in writing the query is nothing, and you can always write good query. Whatever time it is taking in the execution of that query. So if you are keeping data like this, where end user can just get the data as and when needed through GUI, and that too data which is reliable, which is not questionable, and the tool is super simple to use, and you have to develop understanding of the data across vertical, means like on the total floor, that where people are getting the meaning of the business. Then you will develop a culture where there will be data driven culture. People will love to take decision based on data. For that, floor champions are also the key. You need to have some 3 4 people, among probably 100 150 people, who are the champions and who are always ready to explain people how to use this kind of tool and how to make sense of the outcome that has come out. Secondly, even these people have to be ready for repeated sessions. If there are no repeated sessions, many people will on the floor will not be comfortable with the VI system or tool that you have placed. What you need to understand, attrition is a natural stuff in the organization. And if you are not having people who can repeatedly explain how to use the tool or how to make sense of the data, even after tool and even after everything, the adoption will be poor and people will not use those tools. And it just loses the meaning that is there. Secondly, you have to develop a culture where these floor champions are also participating in the discussion around outcome that has come through this kind of tool. And that's where these champions will develop a culture where many people will start getting the meaning of the data, how to interpret the tabular outcome, how to interpret the chart and everything. And even this guy, like, will understand at times if the data is throwing something which is not possible, then he will know how to talk to different people and ask them to rectify the data. So these are the people who ensure both way combination to the person who is developing these dashboard as well as to the business so that they can make sense. One more thing I will say, that there is a very important aspect of the PI tool on top of this data storage. You have to have the tool which has the consistent GUI. Means there is a clear cut place where there are filters, there are clear cut place where you can go for cross tab, there are clear cut place where you can go for dashboard and all those things. And if this kind of tool is there where you click on any data and this kind of visualization gets ready, which has the consistent layout irrespective of the data, the adoption of the tool, how to use the tool and how to understand the outcome will be much easier. For that purpose, I will suggest you should look at the Insta Visualizer, which is a game changer tool in this particular space. You target any data set, click a button, and it creates this kind of dashboard immediately. For Insta Visualizer, I will suggest that you can go and take a look at the demo that is available on the page. Let me just go and show you quickly. So here you will find Insta Visualizer and you can take a look. This page will give you like little detail about the tool, and there is a demo, there is a presentation which will help you understand about this tool very easily. Now let me go back to the third part, campaign management. Campaign management can help organization greatly, because this is an area, if you follow that and if you really have a suite, it can send communication on weekend, on holidays, at the odd time, at the time when people need it, without human being present in the floor. And this kind of automation helps a lot to drive the marketing automation for the maximum benefit for the organization. However, again here, you need to keep several things in mind. Like, you have to develop an infrastructure which is audit proof. What you need to understand, you are developing at one time is one part, but you need to develop a mechanism by which once the auditor comes, you can showcase them what was the campaign, who approved it, when approved it, and the trail of the campaign. For that, I'll strongly recommend that you should start with unique identification of campaign. There should not be any kind of ambiguity that okay, which campaign it is. There has to be unique identifier of campaign. Probably you can think of campaign ID kind of field, and then you have to store digital approval of campaigns in one place. Then you have to ensure that campaign can be executed only post approval, because if you're doing that, then You are making sure that the no campaign gets fired without approval. You have to make sure that all subsequent changes in the campaign, not only at the time of just development, all subsequent changes are getting tagged in the system so that there is a clear cut documentation and it can be shown to auditors as and when needed. My suggestion would be that an organization should work in such a way that they are working always with compliance rather than working for compliance. Working for compliance means when the compliance or auditor is asking, you are spending 3 days, 4 days to do something by which you can feel you can pass the audit. My recommendation would be that you should always work in such a way that you are always ready for the audit. You are not working for the audit, you are always audit ready. And any campaign management system will have many tools. I'll say probably 5 6 bare minimal. So you have to have custodian of knowledge who are knowing these tools and always ensuring that the knowledge document, knowledge everything is updated and people are aware. Otherwise, this kind of suite can create huge nightmare. Next thing, you have to store data properly. And for campaign management, I will recommend most of the data to have account level, but you will also need to have some monthly summary, some transaction level data, as well as at times you will have to probably get some data, some consume some data which is coming through external party. So you have to have file based import or anything kind of that by which you can get this data. Also, forget about what you are doing. No matter what you do, it is just a matter of time and the system will start giving you performance issue. So data archival will be a key to the continuous performance. If you are not having well defined data archival process, your system will struggle to perform for many years. It will just work for 1 or 2 years and then start giving you issue. Third thing, if input data is wrong, if where you are expecting balance to come and let's say payment is coming, then what no matter what you are doing, everything is wrong. So you have to have good data quality control, a mechanism by which you are auditing the data that is coming and it is getting loaded properly or not, all those things. So if you are doing good data quality control, your campaign management system will can run with the compliance. My recommendation would be that you should avoid file based transfer because sooner or later it starts creating problem. Again, data audit mechanism, what data came, what got uploaded, these are very important aspect here. And you have to tackle long run queries. Every 3 months, you should try to figure out which are the long running queries and why it is running and optimize database accordingly. If you are not doing that, very soon you will run into performance issue without any doubt. Next, for knowledge management, campaign management, I will recommend you to take a look at this list that is coming here in the campaign management, this page. Here I have listed certain things about some best practices of campaign management. You should read it. This can actually be a lifesaver. This can actually give you a lot of benefit when you are designing campaign management system. Below also you can read about uplift modeling, which one should do in the case of campaign, because that ensures the continuous benefit from the campaign. Let me talk about knowledge management now. Knowledge management is very important. This is an area which actually helps that employee can learn as and when they are joining. And they have certain things to look at as and when they are struggling. So there has to be a clear path for different people to learn different things so that they can become productive very fast. You have to have custodian of different knowledge section so that the document, the presentation, the video that are for those areas are always updated and live so that it represents the correct current situation. You have to have champion who can brief people about e-learning. You can create e-learning system, but if there are no champions who can guide people that okay, go and read this thing, at times even e-learning solution fails. You have to have clear categorization and tagging of documents so that people can search these things very quickly. We have seen good knowledge management system in place which has helped people for decades. So this is an area where again we want to contribute and we want to share our knowledge with audience. Next is online and offline training. We have, we are among those who have continuously kept working on the systems and has always been hands on. We are not among those who are like probably the moment they got 6 years of experience, they stopped working and they're just mail forwarding managers. So over time, by continuous work, by with the method of continuous uh, tutorial development and all those things, competency got developed. Now, what is the use of competency if you're not sharing with others? It's a waste, right? And I believe personally that training has huge impact on society. A good trainer creates many experts who actually does lot of good things for society, for country, whereas a bad trainer creates havoc. A bad trainer makes sure that you are not interested with the subject and you choose to probably ignore the subject, run away from the subject. That's where good people who think that they can do good training are very important in this aspect. We definitely think that training is something that we want to do, and it is an art. I believe it's an art to simplify something and present. In some sense, it is our life mission and we consider it our social responsibility to share that knowledge. And that's why, after starting this venture, we want to take this very seriously. Online, offline, classroom training, and all those things. And we want to train people. However, there is one more thing. It is one thing that what you want, but you should also have understanding that do you really connect well with the customer, with the audience? And on that aspect, I believe your feedback, like for example, on YouTube, I have this kind of visits 2 million, and on Udemy, this kind of review, and still I should say, like probably good rating overall on these courses. It makes me believe that most of the people like the way we explain, and that's how even it is a win-win. We want to contribute this way and audience want to hear this way. So hopefully this is one area where we can take it forward. So overall, this talks about why we started this venture and how we plan to contribute towards society, towards country using these 5 areas. Thank you for watching.